Welcome to my ANC News. I'm Nishire Mararani. Today we are very excited to have a special interview with Jackson Mthembu. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. I'm excited.
Tell us about the accreditation and the voting process.
Well, first of all, as you will know, yesterday morning we started with the adoption of the credentials because they were very important, because before we could do anything, we needed to know who's at conference, all people who are supposed to be conference there, and is conference coordinating. Indeed, we did adopt the credentials after they were presented by the Deputy Secretary General, Comrade Mthembu. And after the adoption, what then followed was the work of the Electoral Commission, where the Electoral Commission indicated to us, to plenary, who are the people who have been nominated to stand for the top 6 positions in the African National Congress. Those top 6 are President, Deputy President, Secretary General, the Chairperson of the ANC, the Treasurer General, and the Deputy Secretary General. After that, then, we then started with commissions. Of course, before commissions, there were presentations on the National Development Plan by Trevor Manuel. There was another presentation on organizational renewal by Fikile Mbalula. There was also a presentation on the infrastructural rollout program by Comrade Patel, and also a presentation on the Census 2011 by Census South Africa. So after those presentations, and again, they were meant to empower delegates as they proceed to deliberate in commissions. After those, of course, we then went straight to commissions, where we then interacted with first the political report that the President delivered day before yesterday, and the organizational report that the Secretary General delivered day before yesterday. Again, we also interacted with discussions that we had interacted with at the policy conference on organizational renewal and strategy and tactics. So that is where we are now in terms of discussions. We are still at commissions. We are discussing these matters. As comrades come today, they will still continue with discussions on organizational work and strategy and tactics. But at the same time, last night, we then went to vote, because then the ballot papers were ready and the voters' roll was ready. But very late at night, till about between 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, that's when we started to vote for the top 5, because the 6th official has been unopposed. That is Jessie Duarte, who's standing as the Deputy Secretary General. She's the only candidate who's standing. So she has been unopposed in this spot. So we're voting for the top 5, the President, Deputy President, Secretary General, the National Chair, and the Treasurer General. We have only finished voting since starting last night around between 1 and 2. We only finished voting this morning at around 7. So after finishing voting, the voting station was closed by the Electoral Commission. They have now started to count all the votes and the ballots. So that's where we are now, and we're hopeful that they'll be able to give us the results or the outcome of the voting by midday today. So we're quite happy that everybody has voted, but of course, everybody has not slept. It shows the commitment of ANC members to work of conference.
We're still manually counting the votes. What's the difference between technical and manual vote counting?
You know, when we're at Polokwane 5 years ago, in the 52nd conference, the people who were dealing with the election said that they were going to count electronically. And delegates said, no. You see, what you feed in a computer, you are likely to get out. It's garbage in, garbage out. So the delegates said, no. We want you to count each ballot that has been cast individually, manually. And that's where we still are as ANC. We don't believe that you must just put in the figures and the computer must electronically count all the votes that have been cast for each person. We believe that in these contested elections, when the Electoral Commission does the counting as they are doing now, they must count each ballot cast manually, one by one, so that we arrive at a number of ballots that have been cast for each an individual who is standing for the elected position. Electronically, I think we are still of the view that the electronic system can be manipulated. And again, as you know, there were elections recently in Ghana. There is a problem around how the counting was done, and it was done electronically there. So there is a problem as we speak there. So we felt that instead of us counting electronically and stand a chance of the outcome being contested, let's just count manually, so that if people have got a problem, whoever who might have lost, they can just go to those ballots that we count and count for themselves and come to the outcome that the Electoral Commission has come to.
Thank you for joining us in studio.
Thank you very much. It's nice to speak to the ANC media.
That's another exclusive on My ANC News. Real news without the issues.